Have you ever noticed subtle changes in a loved one over 60? A forgotten appointment, a repeated story, or a sudden mood shift, and wondered if it's just normal aging or something more? Most people associate dementia solely with severe memory loss, imagining a drastic, sudden change. But the truth is, dementia, particularly Alzheimer's disease, often begins with subtle, early signs that are easily dismissed or mistaken for typical senior moments. Recognizing these early indicators is not about panic. It's about empowerment, enabling timely intervention that can significantly impact the progression and management of the condition. This discussion isn't about diagnosing anyone. It's about raising awareness. We're going to illuminate 5 critical early signs that seniors may exhibit before a formal dementia diagnosis. These are often overlooked because they can be so mild or intermittent, making them particularly important for family members and caregivers to recognize. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand what these early signs look like, but also why they are significant indicators to pay attention to. You'll gain practical insights that can help you or a loved one seek evaluation sooner, potentially opening doors to treatments, lifestyle adjustments, and support systems that can enhance quality of life for years to come. The good news is, early detection makes a real difference. These insights are based on established clinical criteria from leading neurological and Alzheimer's associations, as well as extensive research into the progression of cognitive decline. So, please stay with me until the very end, because the 5th sign is often the most heartbreaking to witness and the one that often prompts families to seek help. Now, let's begin by understanding the first early sign that demands our attention. Sign 1. The fading blueprint. The first early sign to recognize is subtle changes in planning or problem-solving abilities. This goes beyond occasionally forgetting a step in a recipe. It's about a gradual difficulty in managing complex tasks they once handled with ease, such as balancing a checkbook, following a familiar recipe with multiple steps, or organizing a simple event. They might struggle to concentrate, take significantly longer to do things, or make uncharacteristic errors in tasks that require logical thinking and sequential steps. Why is this significant? Because planning and problem-solving are complex cognitive functions that rely on the brain's frontal lobe and executive functions. Early dementia often impacts these areas first, long before overt memory loss. When a loved one starts struggling with the how-to of everyday tasks, it indicates a quiet but concerning shift in their cognitive architecture. It's like a skilled architect suddenly struggling to draw blueprints or solve basic structural issues. It's a foundational change that impacts their ability to manage their daily life independently. They might get overwhelmed by simple choices or become unusually passive in situations that previously required their initiative. Consider Mr. Davis, 73, a retired engineer who was always meticulous with his finances. His daughter noticed he started making small errors in his bill payments, missing due dates he never missed before, and seemed overwhelmed by his tax documents. He also struggled to follow the instructions for a new coffee maker, a task he would have easily mastered years ago. These weren't memory lapses, but difficulties with the multi-step process. What to do? Observe for patterns of difficulty with sequential tasks or complex decision-making. Instead of doing the task for them, gently offer assistance or break tasks into smaller, manageable steps. If these difficulties persist or worsen, it's crucial to document examples and discuss them with their doctor. Recognizing this early sign means you can seek evaluation before the challenges become overwhelming, potentially accessing support that can help maintain their functional independence for longer. Sign 2. The unfamiliar routine. Our second early sign is difficulty completing familiar tasks. This isn't just about occasionally losing your train of thought. It's about struggling with activities that have been a part of their daily routine for decades. They might have trouble driving to a familiar location forget the rules of a favorite game they've played for years, or find it hard to operate a household appliance they've used countless times. It's a sense of losing the script for routine actions. Why is this a red flag? Because it indicates a problem with procedural memory, the memory of how to do things, and the brain's ability to coordinate complex actions. When the brain's autopilot for familiar tasks begins to falter, it suggests underlying cognitive changes that go beyond simple forgetfulness. It's like a seasoned musician suddenly struggling to play a piece they've performed thousands of times. The muscle memory and cognitive sequencing are beginning to break down. This can be incredibly frustrating and frightening for the individual, and concerning for observers. Take the case of Mrs. Chen, 78, who loved baking and had used the same oven for 30 years. Her daughter noticed she started having trouble setting the temperature or timer correctly, sometimes leaving things in too long or not heating them properly. She also began getting lost on short drives to the grocery store she'd frequented for decades. These weren't just senior moments, but a genuine struggle with ingrained routines. What to do? Gently observe if familiar tasks become consistently challenging or require more effort. Offer quiet support without making them feel inadequate. You might suggest doing the task together or using visual aids. Document specific instances where they struggle with familiar routines. This early sign warrants a conversation with a healthcare professional to rule out other causes and to get an accurate assessment, allowing for strategies to support their daily functioning. Sign 3. The disappearing act with no detective skills. The third early sign is misplacing things, but more significantly, losing the ability to retrace steps to find them. Everyone misplaces keys occasionally. However, in early dementia, individuals might place items in unusual or illogical spots, e.g., car keys in the refrigerator, glasses in the shoe closet, and then be completely unable to remember where they put them or how they got there. They lack the executive function to think backward through their actions. They might also accuse others of stealing things because they cannot recall misplacing them. Why is this more than just forgetfulness? Because it indicates a deeper problem with short-term memory, logical reasoning, and cognitive flexibility. The brain is not just failing to record the memory, but also failing to access and reconstruct the sequence of events that led to the item being misplaced. This often causes significant distress and paranoia for the individual as their perception of reality becomes distorted. It's like a detective who has lost their ability to connect clues or revisit crime scenes. The capacity for logical deduction is impaired. Consider Mr. Thompson, 70, who began finding his wallet in odd places like the microwave or laundry basket. When asked where he put it, he'd become agitated and genuinely couldn't recall. He sometimes even accused his daughter of moving his things. This pattern was far more concerning than typical forgetfulness. What to do? Look for a pattern of unusual placement of items and a complete inability to retrace their actions. Avoid confronting or arguing if they accuse you. Gently help them look, perhaps by guiding their thought process. Document these instances, including the item and the unusual location. This sign points to a need for medical evaluation, as it suggests an impairment in several critical cognitive domains that require professional assessment and support strategies to manage daily life safely. Sign 4. The shifting self. The fourth early sign, often one of the most distressing for families, is changes in mood or personality. This can manifest as sudden shifts from calm to agitated, increased irritability, suspicion, confusion, depression, or anxiety, sometimes without apparent reason. They might become withdrawn from social activities they once enjoyed, appear more confused than usual in familiar situations, or show a general loss of interest or initiative. These changes are often out of character for the individual they once were. Why is this significant? because the brain areas responsible for regulating emotions and personality can be affected early in dementia. These changes aren't just getting cranky in old age. They are often a symptom of underlying neurological changes that impact emotional processing and social cognition. The individual might be experiencing confusion, frustration, or fear due to their declining cognitive abilities, leading to mood swings, or the disease itself might directly alter brain chemistry. It's like a familiar piece of music suddenly playing with discordant notes. The core melody is still there, but something fundamental has changed, making it unsettling and unrecognizable. Take the example of Mrs. Clark, 76, who had always been a cheerful and outgoing person. Her family noticed she became increasingly withdrawn, expressed paranoid thoughts about neighbors, and would sometimes lash out angrily over minor issues, which was completely unlike her. She also lost interest in her beloved gardening club. These profound shifts in her disposition were alarming to her children. What to do? Observe for persistent, uncharacteristic changes in mood, personality, or behavior. Approach them with patience and empathy, acknowledging their feelings without necessarily validating any delusional thoughts. Document these changes, including the date and specific behaviors, as this information is invaluable for a medical professional. Mood and personality changes are often a strong indicator of cognitive decline and warrant immediate medical evaluation to rule out treatable conditions and to establish appropriate management strategies for both the individual and their caregivers. Sign 5. The words get lost. The fifth and profoundly impactful early sign is challenges with language and communication. This goes beyond occasionally struggling to find the right word. It manifests as frequent difficulty remembering common words, substituting unusual words, struggling to follow or join conversations, or repeating themselves often. They might stop mid-sentence, unable to continue, or appear to lose the thread of a discussion, making communication frustrating for both them and those around them. They might also misunderstand what others are saying. Why is this so crucial? Because language is fundamental to human connection and navigating the world. When the brain areas responsible for language processing are affected, it impacts every aspect of communication: speaking, understanding, reading, and writing. This often leads to immense frustration, isolation, and a significant decline in the individual's ability to express their needs, thoughts, and feelings. It's like a library where the books are still there, but the cataloging system is breaking down, making it increasingly hard to find or organize information. The inability to communicate effectively can be incredibly isolating and contributes to a profound sense of loss for the individual. Consider Mr. Green, 79, who used to be a great storyteller. His family noticed he started repeating the same stories multiple times in a single conversation, sometimes within minutes. He also struggled to find common words, often pausing awkwardly or using vague fillers. He'd start a sentence and forget what he was trying to say, leading to noticeable frustration on his part. What to do? Observe for persistent difficulties in word finding, coherent conversation, or understanding spoken language. Be patient, offer gentle prompts, and avoid correcting them harshly. Encourage clear, simple communication. Document specific examples of communication struggles. This sign strongly warrants a comprehensive medical evaluation to assess cognitive function and determine the underlying cause. Early recognition allows for communication strategies to be implemented, such as visual cues or simplified conversations, and provides access to support that can significantly improve their quality of life. As we've illuminated these 5 crucial early signs: changes in planning, difficulty with familiar tasks, misplacing items without retracing steps, shifts in mood/personality, and challenges with language, it becomes clear that dementia often announces its presence subtly. The core message is that recognizing these indicators is not about jumping to conclusions, but about equipping yourself with the knowledge to seek timely professional evaluation. This early recognition is paramount because it can open doors to therapeutic interventions, lifestyle adjustments, and support networks that can truly make a difference in managing the condition and enhancing quality of life for the individual and their family. This isn't about fear, it's about empowerment and proactive care. While dementia itself cannot yet be cured, early detection allows for ruling out reversible causes of cognitive decline, initiating symptomatic treatments, and planning for the future with greater clarity and dignity. You have the inherent capacity to be an informed advocate for yourself or your loved ones. The encouraging news is that awareness is the first step towards action. It's never too late to observe, to document, and to initiate conversations with healthcare professionals. So, I urge you to reflect. Which of these 5 signs have you observed in a loved one, or perhaps even in yourself? What is one immediate step you can take today to initiate a conversation with a doctor or begin documenting these changes? Thank you so much for watching and for engaging with this vital topic. If you found this discussion valuable and empowering, please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel for more insights on healthy aging and cognitive wellness, and share this video with anyone who could benefit from recognizing these crucial early signs. Your support helps us spread messages that can truly transform lives. We'll see you in the next video.